Major breaking news, guys. Ghana and Burkina Faso signed the Defense Cooperation Agreement on Monday, with Ghana's acting Defense Minister Ato Forson and Burkina Faso Minister of State and Minister of War and Patriotic Defense, Major General Celestin Simpo, signing the agreement. The agreement provides for intelligence sharing and military escorts, with Ghana Defense Minister saying its objective includes protecting economic stability, securing critical supply routes, and strengthening bilateral defense ties. The agreement is particularly significant for Ghana's food supply chain. The country imports fresh tomatoes from Burkina Faso worth more than millions annually. This is actually a major breaking news, guys, and it's a good news for Africa that Africans are coming together, working together as one, and not some other countries chasing away investors or chasing away foreigners from their country. But Ghana and Burkina Faso, in fact, they've developed a very strong ties to the point that even the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, and the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, are very close friends. Even during his inauguration, the Burkina Faso president had to leave his country to come, celebrate with the president of Ghana, to show you how, tight the friendship is. Sharing the video here for you all to watch, and please, as you're watching, kindly share the video, like the video, and subscribe. You guys see these two presidents? They are one of the best presidents in Africa. President of Ghana and Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. These two people, they are doing absolutely amazing when it comes to Africa. Let's take a look at the video, guys.
Here is one of the reasons why I always speak highly of Ghana's government. Yesterday, August 11, 2026, Ghana and Burkina Faso signed a defense cooperation agreement. According to the information available, the agreement is aimed at providing security and escort support along vital cross-border trade corridors. But here's what I find even more interesting. This isn't the first major agreement between Ghana and Burkina Faso this year. In February, the two countries signed 7 bilateral agreements covering areas including transport and road transit, cross-border cooperation, border management, disaster management, and combating illicit drugs. Then, in June, they moved forward with a joint management and reaffirmation of their common border, including the inauguration of a 22-member technical committee. And now, in August, the two countries have signed a defense cooperation agreement focused on security along cross-border trade routes. So, whatever happens next, one thing is very clear. Ghana is one of the West African countries currently working very closely with Burkina Faso across security, trade, border management, and regional cooperation. And personally, I believe that if more African countries strengthen cooperation with Burkina Faso and other countries in the Sahel, we could build greater regional capacity to tackle insecurity and create the stability needed for development. Because the insecurity in the Sahel should concern every African. And to me, that's another form of Pan-Africanism. Understanding that the security and stability of one part of Africa should matter to the rest of the continent. Because ultimately, security should be a foundation for development, not an obstacle to it. Let me know what you think about this video, guys, and thank you all for watching.
So Ghana and Burkina Faso have just signed a defense deal, but this is not just about military. Let me explain. You see, this defense cooperation agreement is aimed at strengthening security and escort support along key cross-border trade routes. Now, let me make you understand this better. You see, this agreement was signed in Accra on August 10, 2026 by Ghana's acting Minister for Defense, Dr. Ato Forson, and Burkina Faso's Minister of State and Minister of War and Patriotic Defense, Major General Celestin Simpore. Now, this major move is to protect the movement of people and goods between the two countries, secure critical supply routes, and make commercial transportation safer and easier. But there is a much bigger story behind this. You see, Burkina Faso is a landlocked nation, and Ghana, particularly the port of Tema, is one of the most important gateways through which goods move into Burkina Faso. Now, this means the roads connecting Ghana to Burkina Faso are not simply highways. They are economic lifelines. And those lifelines are increasingly exposed to the security crisis spreading across the Sahel region. Now, here's what most of you don't know. You see, earlier this year, 8 Ghanaian tomato traders were killed in a terrorist attack in northern Burkina Faso. Now, that incident brought home a serious question. How do you keep Ghanaian traders, truck drivers, and commercial goods moving through a region where armed groups can attack transport routes? Now, the answer Ghana and Burkina Faso are now pursuing is greater security cooperation. And this is the latest defense agreement built on something that happened months earlier. Now, back in February 2026, Ghana and Burkina Faso reactivated their permanent joint commission for cooperation and signed 7 agreements, covering areas including transportation, road transit, cross-border cooperation, border administration, disaster management, and the fight against narcotics. Now, the two countries also agreed that they needed a stronger bilateral security framework to confront terrorism and violent extremism. Now, that security framework is taking a more concrete form through this defense cooperation agreement. But there is an important detail we need to get right. There has been no public announcement that Ghana is permanently deploying troops into Burkina Faso. There has also been no public disclosure of the number of soldiers involved, the number of routes that will receive escorts, the rules of engagement, or the cost of the operation. So this should not be presented as a Ghana-Burkina Faso mutual defense treaty. Now, what has been announced is a defense cooperation agreement focused on protecting vital trade corridors. And this distinction really matters. because this agreement sits at the intersection of three major issues: national security, regional terrorism, and Ghana's economic relationship with the Sahel. Now, if commercial vehicles cannot safely travel north, the consequences are not limited to the people behind the steering wheel. Transport costs can rise, supply chain can be disrupted, trade can slow down, and businesses and consumers on both sides of the borders can eventually feel the impact. So Ghana is not simply protecting a road, it is protecting a trade route that connects its economy to a landlocked neighbor in the wider Sahel. And Burkina Faso also has a major interest in keeping that connection open. So the big question is, will this eventually solve attacks on Ghanaian traders moving into the Sahel region for businesses? Or is this going to be another agreement on paper? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, and repost.
Une collaboration de défense entre le Burkina Faso et le Ghana, ça vient de tomber. Vous devez savoir que le Burkina Faso et le Ghana se rapprochent progressivement pour pouvoir, mes amis, lutter certainement contre les terreaux. C'est une information très nucléaire. Une collaboration a été signée entre le Ghana et le Burkina Faso. Vous devez savoir que le Ghana aussi est un pays très indépendant. Vous savez très bien que les Ghanéens, l'histoire du Ghana, nous savons très bien avec Kwame Nkrumah, etc. On sait très bien que le Ghana veut aussi, mes amis, se mettre dans la danse avec l'AES. Vous savez très bien la position du Ghana concernant, vous savez, le néocolonialisme et aussi le colonialisme. C'est vraiment être deux.
On Monday, August 10th, the government of Burkina Faso and Ghana signed a military agreement between the acting Ghanaian Minister of Defense, Kassiel Atto, and the Minister of War of Burkina Faso, Celestin Simpaure. These two countries have gone just beyond bilateral cooperation. For those who remember very well, last February, there was a tragic attack that took away the lives of 8 Ghanaian traders in Burkina Faso. That was a terror attack, right? And for the past couple of months, Ghanaian authorities and Burkinabe authorities, knowing very well that they are interwoven, they are brothers, they have been thinking about how they can proceed to protecting their common borders and also securing the lives of their citizens who do trade amongst one another. Not just that, do not forget that Ghanaian port under Mahama's administration has been of great use to the Burkinabe authorities. So they have been thinking of how they can secure all their interests, protect their population, and guarantee that their cross borders are secured. That is the main reason that drove the signing of this agreement. So in a nutshell, the agreement entails the following items. Number 1, military escort to vulnerable commercial traffic. So the military will guarantee monitoring, business people, traders who are moving across from one country to another. Number 2, joint and mechanized patrols for those two militaries, Ghanaian military and Burkinabe military. They would continue to monitor different routes that traders, commuters from both countries use to carry out their day-to-day activities. Point number 3, coordinated aerial surveillance. That is very important. So they will start using aerial surveillance to monitor what is going on across both countries, which means that in case of anything, Burkinabe military can intervene right across border, right? They can cross Ghanaian border and carry out defensive and preventive attacks. And likewise, Ghanaian military can do the same. In this way, their borders will remain really secured. Point number 4, intelligence sharing between both military. Burkinabe military and Ghanaian military would start sharing intelligence. This again would continue to help both countries. Point number 5, they will be able to keep monitoring different routes that are used, and not just that, protect all commercial and traders who do business on both sides of the countries. That is what, in a nutshell, that defense agreement was all about. So Burkina Faso and Ghana have moved beyond just mere words to something concrete. And that is what brotherhood really is, because your brother cannot be in trouble and you keep saying, I sympathize with you, I sympathize with you. Terror will come from your country, attack them, run to your country, and you keep pretending to the public that you sympathize with them. Ghana is telling the world, showing Africans that true brotherhood is moving from theoretical words and going into real action to...
You see, this is going to strengthen the ties between Ghana and Burkina Faso, and we all know that Burkina Faso supplies tomatoes to Ghana, and this is how countries in Africa are supposed to be signing, these bilateral agreements, coming together, exporting things together, working together to make sure that Africa becomes a better place to live in, and not countries that are busy chasing away people from their country and making Africans uncomfortable in their country. Let me know what you think in the comment section about this two countries, Ghana and Burkina Faso. Kindly drop your comments below the comment section, like the video, share, and please subscribe to the channel.